The office is changing, and I'm not just necessarily talking about the way that we work, but I'm talking about the buildings themselves. As technology becomes more and more advanced, we're using it to make these spaces more user-friendly, not just for those who are working in them, but those who are managing them or developing them. I'm Julia Hatmaker, editor of Place Northwest. Today, we're going to be looking at the future of smart buildings, and I've assembled a group of experts to help us with this. So we have Dan Drogman, Chief Executive and founder of Smart Spaces, and Dan Hyde, Development Director at MEPC, and the host for us today because we are here at MEPC's building 4 Angel Square. So real quick, let's just start out. Dan Drogman, you're coming my first question. I'd love to know, why do you think we should have smart tech in buildings?
Yeah, I think smart technology is essential, and that is because a building should continuously improve itself in its lifetime to attract tenants and retain tenants. And I think with lease lengths shortening in some buildings, not all, it's essential for you to be able to learn how the people use your building and continuously improve that. And I think that is like a post-pandemic challenge where previously we were occupying offices Monday to Friday. Now the office, people won't just come. You have to attract them and make them want to come to your building.
And it's becoming something the market's expecting more and more, right, Dan?
Yeah, from an occupier perspective, I think as landlords and developers, what we're trying to do is create a kind of frictionless experience with offices now. The kind of hospitality, the hotelification of office space has become a mainstay. So, you know, whether it's, access control or visitor management or booking lockers, I think it's expected now from occupiers, especially in the corporate world. And Dan's right in terms of the employees, giving them the ability to tap into things in the immediate area, to take advantage of amenities and offers that are going on, as well as feeling part of the building by having the app on their phone. I think it's a kind of a new step, a new journey, but one that's becoming the mainstay.
But if we were going to kind of sum up, what can technology bring to buildings? Like, what can I expect my app to do? Dan?
Yes, MEPC have invested in a lot of amenity for NOMA, and in the app and smart platform allows you to package that amenity up and deliver it back to the occupier. There's many a project we work on when we first deploy the app. The existing occupiers of the campus or building didn't know the level of amenity they already had. They didn't know there was fantastic changing facilities in the basement. All they knew was street to seat, they would go up to their floor not think about the rest of the estate or even engage with the estate. And that can come down to things like events. You know, if you're hosting events on the campus for the occupiers, how do you make them aware of it? And they've got very busy schedules. It's hard to interrupt and get access to that schedule to showcase what you're doing. But once you have an app in the hands of every user that uses the estate, and they use that as their mobile access, which we call the toothbrush effect, because you have to use it at least twice a day. You then can send a push notification. If you have a very good communication strategy and you send a push notification, you say, we've got this fantastic event on this summer, would you like to attend? We've seen attendance go from pre-app to post-app increase by 400%. That's just one type of amenity or one type of facility you're offering, which is the events. You've then got access to look at your temperature controls, your energy footprint, how much solar PV the building's generating. And I think the modern occupier can only really move into a building that does that, because how are you going to attract the talent in the future, like Gen Alpha, Gen Z, when they feel and care so much about the planet, and actually your real estate isn't actually helping, it's not improving, it's you've got a legacy asset where they're not going to want to work, it's going to be hard to attract people. So I think it's key to showcase, and this is a fantastic building which is BREEAM rated.
So let's look at the broader picture. So what does the future office building look like when it comes to technology? So Dan, look into that crystal ball. Tell me what you see.
I think it's going to become far more passive. And, at the moment, you're still taking a phone out of your pocket, making sure you unlock the phone or present your phone to an access reader. You're going to be able to just leave it in your pocket. So using ultra-wideband technology, we can accurately position you exactly where you are. The turnstiles are automatically open. I think we'll move to a point where you won't even need turnstiles. So basically, you'll have the credential in your pocket, and the credential won't even need to sit on your phone. It could sit on your glasses, it could sit in your ring. We'll be able to calculate exactly where you're approaching. We'll sync that to the CCTV, and we can see there's 6 people, and 5 of those people are authenticated. The one that's not authenticated wouldn't be able to get through the barriers, but the barriers are not there. a security personnel who's dressed just as a casual person in reception can approach them and just ask them to present their ID to come into the building. But that means you can move thousands of people inside and out of the building, and they don't even think about accessing the building. It's not this, oh, I need to present my pass. You know, how many times have you got a coffee, you've got your bag or your lunch, and you're faffing around trying to get a fob or a mobile phone to get into a building? That will be gone. And I think it will just happen in the background. Because we're connecting all these silo systems together, so on one platform we're connecting access control, lighting control, climate control, energy, the lifts, we can actually have cause and effect across those systems and personalise it for you. So if we know that when you're at home you like to work in an environment of say 21 Celsius, we can match that environment when you come to the office, and we can even match the lux of the lighting, so you just feel comfortable and can do your best work.
That's good, because I like a nice little tungsten light personally for me, so that would be going for it. Yeah, tungsten for Julia. Yeah. Dan, what do you think?
Well, I suppose Dan will know a lot more about this than I would at the moment, but I do think the one thing that we probably don't appreciate the value of just yet is the data that we're going to get back from buildings. This building will be operational next year, and it'll be really interesting over the course of the first 12, 18, 24 months receiving the data back. And I think the data that we get fed back as developers will help innovation, and it will probably highlight areas that we're not even thinking of looking at the moment, where we go, actually there's a real opportunity there to make that frictionless, that user experience that much better. So I'm quite excited about the information that we're not quite yet receiving, but we will do in the future.
All right, so excited for some data analysis. I don't think I've ever heard that one before about people being pumped about looking at data, so I'm here for it.
I won't be looking at the data.
That's why you're excited.
I'm hoping somebody will be able to tell me about where the data's pointing us. But
yeah, well, I can add to that. That's where the machine learning element comes in, and that will be interpreting the data. So yeah, you won't need to look at the data; it'll just give you the insights. And I think that's the best thing AI is bringing to a platform like Smart Spaces, the ability to interpret large data sets and get the insight very quickly without painful hours going through dashboards and scrolling through reports or exporting things into Excel. And it's all available in the cloud. So Dan, can manage his whole portfolio from a beach in the Bahamas if he wants to.
Oh, there you go. That's your new office.
And I think it's a kind of small example, but using the access, the touch-free access pass on your phone, but then it will call you a lift to the floor because it knows where you want to go. But then as an occupier of the building, a user of the building, it will then maybe encourage you to use the stairs. And we spent additional money on improving the stairwells to help promote that for health and well-being reasons, but also to lower the energy use of the building. And that gives you a sense of belonging to the building, being part of the building. So I think the app and the smart technology will really help people integrate and feel part of the places that they work in.
Yeah, and also be healthier, because now I'm going to get a reminder to take the stairs everywhere I go. This is good.
I think like something we've already considered is, as a landlord, we would encourage people to say, right, so this month as a building, can we climb Everest? And and there'll be real-time data and feedback and a little chart on the app. And if they do it in a month and there's a reward from the landlord and they put on an event, it's things like that I think really help people feel more integrated into the places that they work.
Well, thank you guys so much. I feel like I've got a good sense of where we're at with smart buildings right now and where we're going. If you want to know more about smart buildings and what Smart Spaces is up to and how they might be able to help you, check out smartspaces.app. That's APP. And if you want to know more about the building scene in the north of England, check out placenorth.co.uk. I'm Julia Hatmaker. Have a great rest of your day.